All right, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Trent and Zyori podcast. It is Halloween, October 31st, 2019, 9 o'clock a.m. here on the Mountain Time, 8 a.m. Pacific. We are back again with our monthly podcast here. Trent, how are you, bud? How you feeling? It feels good to be back on the horn with you.
Yeah, it's true. It's I guess it's a bit of the off season for Dota and for us. Not a lot going on means not that much to talk about. So, if you guys just want to hear us rant about anything, I guess we could turn this thing on. But
yeah, I mean, we've got a little bit, right? We've got the minor coming up before too long. We can talk about the major a little bit, or at least the teams that are going to be there. We just had ESL Hamburg, so that was a pretty fun little starter for this DPC season, I guess. I got to catch at least some of it. So we've got some starting points for this podcast, but we'll see where it takes us. Of course, both of us on the upswing from some illness. 'Tis the season.
Yep.
So hopefully we hold out pretty well, but if this one ends up getting cut short, have mercy, boys and girls. Trent, before we go too deep, though, we need to talk about Rivalry. The boys and girls that sponsor this podcast help make it possible. They are the gold standard for betting, and they have something new. Dun, 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 dun. Rivalry Quest, the beta.
Oh.
The Thunderdome is currently down as Rivalry grabs a new layer. So we're going to go through what is Quest and what you can expect. It's gamification. It's a new way to earn even more rewards while you bet on your favorite teams. You can complete quests to earn XP, level up your account, compete within your community, earn real money, including massive cash bonuses.
Where do I find this?
Well, you can go over to rivalry.com/quest.
Quest, all right. That's where I am right now. I'm very curious. I'm looking to Quest, guys. There's like a beta page,
dude.
Oh, what is Quest?
It's full on. You set up your profile, you level up and do your quests. Phase 3, there's going to be rewards. There'll be chests stuffed to the brim. Oh my, cash and magical items. I don't know which one I want more.
All right. Well, it looks like this is very much in the newest stage, so this is a stay tuned, I guess, guys.
So no dates exactly yet, but something to keep an eye out for. They're going to continue to find ways to make gambling on esports fun. Of course, you can still do the traditional stuff here over at Rivalry while they're working on this. They've got you covered for all your esports needs. You can still get that $25 or €25 free bet guaranteed. That first one is on them if you mess it up. And of course, they make a lot of great content. 2 weeks ago, they had this spicy little piece with Richard Lewis, Nahaz, Renessa.
Dude, they have so many feisty Nahaz podcasts. It's like it runs the site, man.
That's what keeps the people coming back, dude. They're on the pulse.
I think that's what it is.
They know. So big love to Rivalry.com, of course. Not available in every jurisdiction, unfortunately, but that's not their fault. Some countries like America have weird laws about these sort of things, and we are prohibited from doing such activities. But those of you in the proper jurisdictions like Canada, get at it. Rivalry.com. They'll keep you safe, and you'll have fun doing it.
Man, Nahaz has like a whole bookshelf behind him. I've got an Excite Bike pennant, the Halo Reach statue, a map of Nova Scotia, and then the first painting that Clifford did. Isn't that adorable?
Oh,
it's
dude.
His feet.
That's so sweet. No, that's great.
They made it at daycare for Father's Day. Oh,
what is it? It's a puddle.
It's just a bunch of his feet. It's just him stepping in paint onto a canvas. Isn't that funny?
It's just, well, we knew he couldn't paint yet, so we just had him walk around. That's what we do with the dogs. I think we did that for my mom's 50th birthday.
Oh, man, you should see his Halloween costume. Oh, my God. It's adorable. He's a ladybug. It's so funny. It's like a snowsuit. Like, it's basically a snowsuit with a pillow on his back that someone gave us.
Dude, we got hammered. We just had like a record-setting snowstorm for October. Our Halloween kind of sucks a little bit because I think it's cold as shit and there's just a bunch of melting snow and ice all over the roads.
Well, damn. That's unfortunate. It's supposed to rain here too, actually. So we usually, I think last year we got 213 kids.
At your house?
Yeah.
Damn, you guys are in the heart of it.
Kids. Yeah.
That's tiresome, dude. Like, that's fun for the first 50. And then I think once you start getting to, like, kid 100, 150, you're kind of like, just fucking get the candy and get the hell out.
Yeah, it's a lot of candy when you start buying them. Like, jeez, we have so much candy in the house right now. It's crazy. But I'm looking forward to it. It's always fun. We live in a nice subdivision in an area like there are kids that come to trick or treat here that live in like public housing and stuff. So we always just try and have like tons of candy because it's just like it's a nice neighborhood to walk around in. That's what I used to do because I grew up in the middle of the woods. So I would go to my my friends that lived in the nicest neighborhoods. I would go to their house to trick or treat.
Right.
You get like the giant candy bars and everything. That's kind of where I live
dude.
now.
You gotta go for the big boy. What is the current state of Halloween in Canada? Do you guys do like the truck or treat bullshit? Or are you guys getting hyper concerned about the safety? There's some cities in America now that have like age limits. If you're over 14, trick or treating's illegal. They've got like weird curfews. Once the sun goes down, all trick or treating must end. Everyone's real freaked out that like somebody's gonna put some weed gummies in the bag instead of some regular gummies or something, man.
No, I remember hearing about that when I was little. You could like take your candy and the cops would inspect it or whatever. Like, what am I gonna do? Run it through a metal detector?
I guess.
Some areas do trunk or treat with like in a parking lot, right? Where it's like there's a bunch of trucks and you can like come and get candy. That's usually run by like churches and stuff for like really little kids.
Okay, so it's just a convenience factor for like the physical limitation of kids not really being able to walk far.
And if you show up to the door in a costume here, you're gonna get candy.
That was always my thought.
I don't care how old you are.
It doesn't matter how old you are as long as you're like respectful and just normal about it, you know?
Yeah, no one cares.
Okay.
Like whatever. Have your candy, man. Not an issue. Actually, one of my wife's neighbors, like we still live in the same subdivision where my wife grew up, so she knows a lot of people around, so they always want us to come over with Clifford because, you know, they watched her grow up and now she's a kid. And some of them give out shots. They make like special Halloween shots and shit. So
really,
yeah, it's like a wine and cheese tour, but it's candy and booze.
Dude,
yeah, it's great.
That sounds fucking awesome.
That's the play. Giving shots to the parents walking around trick or treaters.
Hell yeah, dude. That was I had a professor in college that used to joke about wanting to start a business that was for alcohol patches so that parents could get drunk at like sports games and various other functions that they have to do with kids that they don't want to be at. But
I think that's called vodka, actually, in the water bottle.
I guess so.
I think he's beat in that one.
I think he was afraid of the breath test. You know, he said you just put the patch on and then you sack out and all of a sudden you wake up and the fucking soccer game's over. He said, have you ever been to a fifth grade recital? It's pretty brutal. Nobody wants to listen to that shit.
I see the parents, because we live right next to the elementary school, and so they have like elementary all the way up to like probably junior high, maybe some high school teams there sometimes, occasionally, and I hear the parents, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Sports parents are crazy.
They are. They really are.
At every age. I mean, I hear hockey's the worst, which I definitely believe because it's like super expensive and everyone thinks their kid's going to be the next NHL star here.
Yeah.
But like I've heard soccer parents screaming and yelling at the ref, and it's like their kid's like 12. Like, come on, dude.
Dude, there's a great South Park episode about that where they're playing baseball and all the kids don't want to play, so they're all trying to intentionally lose so they can get eliminated.
Oh, yeah.
That's like one of the classes
America?
that hits kids' sports on the head so hard. It's almost too real. But for some reason, that little anecdote reminded me of that show Ballers on HBO with The Rock. Have you watched that at all?
No.
So I hadn't either. And the only reason I got into it is because it just ended, the final season. Like, I think the last episode came out like 2 weeks ago. And League of Legends was a storyline in it. So in the TV show, he's a sports agent. He plays this character named Spencer Strassmore, and he's a retired football player that was like really good. And now he's like a financial manager, and he's trying to sign players onto his thing so that he can help them manage their money and like, you know, not go broke and, you know, deal with CTE and all this kind of shit. So it's an HBO show. Obviously, shit goes off the rails, and Spencer starts doing drugs and fucking girls and making backdoor deals and trying to do an expansion team in the NFL. And then they get into the X Games, and then like it fucking goes off the rails. So final season, they try to get into this new business about gaming. And one of the characters that's a football player gets really into playing FIFA. So he wants to go to this tournament, and he starts joking about how maybe he'll go pro in esports. And it's actually a fucking like LCS match. It's the red and the blue, and it's proper League of Legends. Now, the sad part about this whole build-up is I haven't finished it yet. I've been binge-watching the fuck out of this show for the last, 4 days. There's only so much Ballers I can watch, dude, to get caught up to Season 5. It's not the best show ever. I'm not going to lie to you. But I'm really curious to see how it's going to turn out. And even just seeing... I'm at, episode 2 of the final season. I think there's 9 episodes. It's pretty wild to see, our rival game in just normal tier 1 product placement kind of category. It's like watching people use an iPhone in a movie. I'm like, holy shit, Apple paid for that.
Hey, I have an iPhone.
Dude, they're talking to me right now.
Matthew McConaughey.
I mean, how fucking Riot is really stepping up their shit, dude. I'm starting to get a little nervous here. Did you see that 10-year anniversary shit? They got an FPS, a card game, a fighting game.
Come on. That was. I mean, I agree. It was super cool. But I'm gonna wait to see the games. I think going all out and teasing 3 new games is a terrible idea. Why would you do that? They could have dropped one of those games.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. If the quality of the games is shit, they've really put themselves into a corner. But I mean, the animated series, right? That looked hype as shit. Why don't we have that for Dota? We got that little teaser of the grandma eating cookies on a dragon. I could have watched a whole hour of that shit. Why isn't Valve making a sweet animated series?
How would you make money off of it?
Sell it to fucking Netflix, dude. Sell it to Amazon. What are you talking about?
Do you think that's going to make more money than hats?
It's different. Hats don't market the game. An animated series markets the game.
But if you take the time that it takes to make an animated series, you just put it into hats. Won't you make more money?
Well, maybe in the short term. The whole thing is Riot is trying to secure their ecosystem, right? Riot is taking their IP beyond the lifetime of League of Legends. They're basically recognizing that League of Legends has a certain life and that people are going to get tired of playing that shitty game, but they still love the characters.
Dota's doing the same thing. That's why they're making Underlords, and they're trying to make another game too. I think Valve is also recognizing something very similar. They're trying to turn that world into more games as well.
I hope so, but I mean, it's kind of like it's not a balanced level of effort. It doesn't feel like.
To be fair, the only difference is that Artifact and Underlords have come out, and Team Tactics has come out too. But these other games have not come out.
Yeah, but
yet,
Artifact was terrible. It's like it would have been better if Artifact didn't come out.
Game. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like if these League games come out and they're just as bad.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think they're trying to reinvent a genre with these games. I think they're just trying to hey, yeah, we got a first-person shooter. It just needs to be good enough. But I don't know. Still, I think this kind of marketing though, isn't this the definition of cool? I mean, I don't even like this show that much. I don't give a shit about Ballers. I've still watched the entire show just to get to the plot points to see what they're going to do with League of Legends. I mean, obviously I'm biased and I'm invested, but it is really fucking cool to just see esports in a normal TV show as a normal thing and not have it be one of those newscaster wow, why would you want to watch somebody instead of just players? This was a normal plot point where it was just part of the show. There was nothing weird about it. So far, it hasn't jumped out at me as really shitty. So I can't help but imagine that this is intentional. The writers actually talked to gamers and Riot and made it proper. They didn't just make it up and do some bullshit.
And
why aren't we marketing
TV?
Dota?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I definitely think that there should be more marketing of Dota, and there is an opportunity for it. So yeah, I'll give you that. Actually, there is a lot of value in making something like an animated series. I go back and say yes, do that.
Well, and especially since it feels like Dota, we're getting an increasing ratio of these people that watch but don't play. Which is, I don't think a bad thing, because think about traditional sports. How many people watch hockey but don't really play hockey? It's a fuckload. Yeah. That's fine. You want those kind of casual fans that just appreciate it. You don't have to play Dota or be high rated to, be a valuable member of the community and a viewer and a participant. So I think animated series and just anything else along that continuum, it's just more cannon fodder, dude. It's just more shit for people to enjoy and appreciate outside of, getting slaughtered in pubs. I think we want to get away from this playing solo queue is the way to be a part of the Dota community kind of mentality.
Well, we're trying to, but people don't seem happy with the party queue. But that's I didn't even know how to get into that topic.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Dude.
It's hard. It's what an uphill battle to try and save matchmaking and try and make it fun. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm still enjoying party games personally.
it
I'm
kind of
having a lot of fun.
sucks that these experiments have seemed to backfired a little bit. You know, at first people were like, "Look at Valve, they're being open, they're trying stuff. This is great." And it seems every iteration within a month or two, the community just completely flip flops to this is garbage.
There's
Please
always
remove
people that hate every time though. Like,
this.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
true.
there's always gonna be someone that doesn't like the new change. There's someone who liked the old solo queue and wanted to play that, and I can understand that because it's been the same way for so long that they just
Yeah,
kind of want to keep doing their thing, and to them nothing was wrong.
I mean, change is
But
hard.
yeah, there's a lot of people that also just didn't really enjoy playing pubs. Personally, I love roles. I really don't want roles to go away. I
Same.
like the fact that roles aren't in unranked. Like that's good, but I like having them in ranked. I think just the fact that you have to fight with people for your position, like losing a game because two guys are arguing over mid, is the most classic Dota thing ever, and is so frustrating.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean
just stupid. Those are the games that
it's
feel like a
so
legit
dumb.
waste of time.
Yeah, it's like you just have a dice roll that decides whether or not you just wasted an hour of your life.
Yep.
And of course, there are still people who abuse it, but I would argue there's more people who abuse it than who just really wanted mid and would just, ruin the game by essentially either not playing mid, and getting like a shitty hero they can't play, like Pudge 4, and they just never do anything, or
Yeah.
they just straight up leave. And either way, your game's just ruined.
I mean, it's never going to be 100%. You're still going to have shitty people that don't care about whatever the punishment is, that'll just rage and quit and ruin games and whatever. So I think this is a step down the right path. Speaking of Underlords, though, any thoughts about Underlords right now? Have you been playing it at all? Do you think
No,
Underlords is like
People have been
gonna be a
messaging me
thing?
like, "Yo, Trent, want to play Underlords? Trent, want to play Underlords?" I'm like, that sounds like Owen, but it wasn't Owen. But no, I've heard very good things. People seem to really like the dual queue. Apparently, it's a really good time. Have you tried it? I have not.
I have not tried the dual queue. I think that's kind of a cool adaptation on it, but I don't know. I think the key to this conversation is trying to define like what the expectations are for Underlords. If it's just a cool kind of casual mobile game, whatever, yeah, sure, great. It is what it is. It's more, is there an expectation that this will be somehow competitive or an esport or like a stream worthy game or any of that kind of shit? Like, is it actually competitive or is it just a fun casual thing that we play?
Yeah.
30,000 concurrents on Underlords right now. I guess that's not terrible. Those are like Heroes of New Earth in 2012 levels. So take that for
Nice.
what you will.
I was just curious about the viewership. I see that currently on Twitch you got Teamfight Tactics at 12.3K, so it's also fallen by the wayside. To be expected though.
Mm-hmm.
Right next to Hearthstone. That's a game you don't hear much about these days. Jeez.
Yeah. I
didn't
guess
even
it's still
recognize it.
chugging. Hearthstone is such a weird anomaly. I feel like somebody's probably done it, but you could go back and do like a really cool kind of post analysis of Hearthstone to try to figure out like why did this
Dude,
game
could
blow
you
up?
ever?
Huh?
Yeah. You totally could. Like,
Because it's so shitty. It's not a good game, and it's so crazily popular.
You're wrong. It was so good. Dude, when this game launched, there was nothing like Hearthstone when it launched.
That's true.
That's why it was so good, because it was so stupidly simple. It was free to play. It was good free to play when it first launched. I had every card, and I played like a couple hours a day.
Yep.
And it was super easy to get all the cards.
I liked it
And
until the expansion.
it had the WoW lore. Oh my god, it was so fun to play at first.
Yeah.
God, it was fun.
I'll never forget that hub. Literally every talent was just playing Hearthstone. If you weren't casting Dota, you were playing Hearthstone or eating.
It was just fun. It was so satisfying. Oh god, it was good. Man, those were good days. Those were really good days. Writing essays and just playing Hearthstone. Oh, university.
Yeah. But I didn't
So
like
much
the paying
druid.
for expansions, and they eventually just made it more RNG focused. I mean, they took a game that was already fairly heavy on the RNG and just like doubled down on it more than once. I don't really understand.
Yeah, they definitely blew it in the after intro to the game, but the introduction of Hearthstone is probably what helped secure it so much publicity and like player base, frankly.
I think so. I think if you go back and look at a lot of gaming stuff, momentum is the key thing, especially in the modern era with game releases. Look at Apex Legends. I haven't really played it. is Apex Legends really just an 11 out of 10 game and it's that good? Or did they just have a sick viral drop strat to get everybody playing it all at once that created a feedback loop that started feeding itself of more people wanting to play it because all of their friends were playing it? You know, I think
they're trying to do that again, because of the partnership with Steam. Have you seen that?
I think I saw a
Apex
headline.
Legends is coming to Steam via that EA deal.
Oh, right, because the EA launcher thing is going to disappear now, right?
I think Origin's still going to exist, but they have a partnership where certain games will be on Steam as well that you can use with a subscription. I think is what it is.
That sounds right. It looks like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Apex Legends are two of the big ones. There might be a couple others. That's pretty cool. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really get... I would love to be a fly on the wall in the EA boardroom of like, all right, so our market share against Steam is like 5%. And we've got a couple cool exclusive titles, and we just need more exclusive titles, and we're going to keep building that. We just need more market penetration. Like, to me, that just seems like such an uphill battle that you're never going to win. And especially, like, it's not even just Steam either. You've got the Epic launcher. Like, there's a bunch of other contenders in that space of, like, even Twitch is sort of trying to do that, right? I think Twitch wouldn't mind if you launched your games through the Twitch launcher.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know,
I mean,
everybody's
that's
fighting
off,
for
though.
that. It's
Yeah.
So if I were EA, I would drop that aspect and just focus on making games that aren't fucking shitty. Is that too far?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the play is actually.
Well, there goes my future career at EA. So there. You go.
How unfortunate. I mean, sorely going to be missed.
So I don't know. I'm not that into Underlords. I just don't have a desire. To me it feels a little bit like Artifact or Overwatch. Like I played it for a while, I got my 100 hours in, and at the end of it I'm just still kind of like, I'd rather just play Dota or read a book.
I have I have categories of games that I play. So I have Dota when I'm like Dota is just always there because it's Dota, but Dota has certain components, or like certain requirements. I need like people to play with because I don't really like playing alone. It's not that much fun. And I need at least an hour plus where I have to be completely uninterrupted. So that means I can't be looking after Clifford, stuff like that. So if that's available, I play Dota. But then I need my other categories of games when I can't play Dota. And so something like Underlords is typically I'm looking after Clifford, like he's asleep or whatever, maybe he's having a nap, I can play Underlords. If I have to leave, whatever, I gotta go. But more than likely, I'll finish my game of Underlords. That's cool. I can watch a stream at the same time. But I have better games than Underlords that fit that category now, so I don't play Underlords. That's the main issue.
Right.
You have to beat whatever else is in that category. Currently in that category is called Mindustry. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Owen, Cheever, and I have been playing it. It's really fun.
Huh.
I've only been playing it for like 5 hours.
Is it
but
co-op?
It's really good. Yeah, it is co-op.
Huh.
It's like a RTS / factory efficiency game, and it's good. There's like waves of enemies that come in, but you're also like managing resources and stuff. And you can do You can do up to 16-player co-op, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Interesting. Huh.
And then you got your hardcore category of I can be by myself and just play Smash Ultimate. I can still look after Clifford. So I got my 3 categories. I don't need Underlords right now.
Yeah. Dude,
and
I'm
I
with
think
you. I mean,
the fact that it's PC and mobile, that hurts me because I don't want to play it on mobile because I can't do certain things I can do on PC, and that makes me angry.
I'm actually with you on that. I at first was really liking the mobile aspect, but I think I was sort of lying to myself because I just really wanted a mobile game that was good and satisfying. And I felt the exact same way. Where playing on the computer is better because I can do faster shit, but then I feel like I'm playing a game on the computer that is objectively slow and like not really that engaging compared to most of the other games I would play on the computer. And yeah, dude, I'm with you on those genres. I haven't really been playing PUBG or any shooters, but every so often I get an itch to go shoot some people, and I play a little Counter-Strike or play a little PUBG. But it's mostly WoW and Dota. WoW is my grinding, like I just want to check out game, and Dota is my sense of urgency. I want to really try hard and like strategize kind of game.
Oh my god, is BlizzCon today? Is that today?
I think so, or it's this weekend or
yes,
something.
I've been waiting all week for this, dog.
D4?
There's so much pressure.
Dude, this is possibly the most controversial BlizzCon ever. This is like one of the lowest points in terms of Blizzard general like brand and stock right now in the eyes of community. I think their games have been getting steadily a little bit rougher around the edges. It definitely says something about the company when you're like hot as shit is the re-release of Warcraft 3, WoW Classic, and the rumors of a Diablo 2 remake that'll be coming out at this or announced at this BlizzCon. If all the games you made from the 90s and early 2000s are still your most popular shit 20 years later, y'all been fucking up hard for the last decade. Like, what is going on over there?
Oh, God. I just want to see how they pull it all together. I mean, I'm genuinely excited for new games. I still like new games. Those rumors, as people are mentioning in the chat, of the first-person Diablo. Look, I know it's going to piss a lot of people off, but frankly, that sounds kind of awesome. I don't know.
I would play a D2 Lord of Destruction, like Reforged style. I think that game was so good, kind of ahead of its time, and it's actually so old that it's like unplayable now. I think the max resolution's like 600 by 800 or some shit.
It's pretty unplayable. I've tried replaying it and just been like, even with the mods and stuff, like the mods definitely make it much better.
It's just,
but they could do a lot more.
Yeah. And also remember, I think it was last BlizzCon. Was it a year ago? Whatever happened to Diablo Immortal? Remember the y'all got phones, guys? The Diablo mobile game? Never heard any follow-up on that.
I think there's info on it if you Google it.
Somebody post me a link. What's the info on Diablo Immortal? Hey, we announced this game, and then you guys said it was going to suck, so we tanked it. It's released in China. Oh, okay. It all makes sense now.
It's not actually, is it?
I doubt it.
So.
It's probably not. So, I mean, I'm looking at their website, and, like, they've got some sick marketing material, and it just says pre-register now. There's no dates. There's no nothing. It just says be among the first to experience Diablo Immortal.
It says still slated for 2019 release. So probably going to be... it'll probably just be released at BlizzCon, one would think.
Maybe. But still, I mean... We're still waiting on last year's shitty announcements, and we're getting excited about this year's shitty announcements that they're not going to deliver on. You know,
no,
there's
but
like
last year's were so shitty. These ones have to be good. That's the whole point. I'm so curious to see Overwatch 2. That's the big one. Wow, I actually just said at the same time. Look, same brain. Because that's how do you justify this? I can't wait to see this. If it's the same engine, I'm gonna like lose my marbles.
So
because to me, this is just Activision Blizzard being like, "Hey, yo, you see how many COD games we're selling a year? You don't sell one game. It's been 3 fucking years. Sell another one. Well, we kind of sell stuff in the game. I don't care. Sell a new game too. Let them keep the stuff in the game, and then sell them more stuff in the game."
Dude,
like you're literally just pulling a free $70 out of these people.
10 out of 10, dude. I don't get why the COD community is still so strong. They're just buying the same shit over. It's the most transparent business model I've ever seen. There's so many other players in the space that are doing the opposite because they see that this business model is fucked for consumers long term. And here we are, dude. It's the same shit. Yeah. I bet you it's going to be the same engine. The engine is not the problem with that game. The engine is fine. They're just going to reskin some shit. I bet a lot of the shit's not going to transfer. Probably a couple of them, but you're going to have to buy all this new shit.
There's no way. There's no way. With the current flack they're into, they're going to make it so all the skins transfer. There's no way.
I don't know, man. I
0%
think they're
chance.
They're completely obsessed with being a public company and stockholder fucking returns, dude. Shareholder returns. They're completely obsessed with short-term gains. It's a real sad reality.
I've heard the new COD is actually good. Speaking of COD and the second buying. And, talking about how you get that itch for a shooter, I kind of had that itch the past couple of weeks, and I see that new COD coming out, and I think back to, like, just playing COD because it's COD and having some fun.
It is a fun game.
It is fun. It's just arcadey, good time.
It takes me back to college. It's like it's one of the best dorm games. It's like kind of try hard so you can get into it, but... you just fuck off whenever the round is over and you go out to lunch. It's a good one.
You want to go make dinner, you pass the controller to your roommate. Like, yo, you want to play some? Just go. Go get him, buddy.
Dude, have you seen COD Mobile? That shit is...
I've heard it's great.
I haven't played it. I've heard as far as mobile shooters go, it's pretty good. But the amount of downloads it's had, it's like 5x PUBG Mobile in global downloads or something.
Well, think about the market for Fortnite and think about the market for COD. And I think COD literally covers the entire Fortnite market and more.
Yeah.
Like anyone who I can think of that would want to play Fortnite wants to play COD And then there are people that look at Fortnite and go, "Oh, what a stupid looking game," and they all want to play COD.
Yeah. Dude,
So.
check. Here it is. Call of Duty Mobile breaks record with 100 million downloads in its first week.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's
That
a lot.
is insane.
That's a lot of people.
So PUBG had 28 million in its first week, and Fortnite had 22.5 million in its first week, according to SensorTower.com. Who the fuck knows how they got that info?
Yo, fun one, Dota. I see you mentioning about the solo player is good. Solo is good in COD. Multiplayer is good. Have you noticed anything with the multiplayer matchmaking? Because I was doing my research. I don't know any other COD players out there. Feel free to chime in here. I heard they added skill-based matchmaking, and I saw a lot of people actually complaining. I found all these hate threads on the subreddit because apparently they've never had MMR before. You just drop into lobbies and stuff. And so now there's MMR, and people are like, I don't have a 2.5 KD anymore. I can't just go into a lobby and, like, roll people. And they're all getting mad that they're being balanced. There's all these threads. I found like 5 or 6 of them.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because you've played for so long with this inflated sense of like I'm genuinely really good. Look at these numbers. Yeah. I average 3 kills a game, whatever. And you're right, and that's just because there's no matchmaking, so it's just a fucking dice roll, and there's a huge skill imbalance in every game. It was like when they did it in Dota. There's no MMR. You're just randomly matched up against people. Every game's a fucking blowout. Some people look like gods. It doesn't mean everybody that has a 10 KDA is going to go pro.
Oh, that's probably what it is because there was ranked before, but now they must be skill-based matchmaking all just the normal games. But yeah, a lot of people are quite mad. It's funny. They're all so obsessed with their KDs.
Well, numbers. I mean, I remember Han being like that because they had, in Han you could reset the stats on your account. You could pay $5 or $10 or whatever it was and buy a little thing, and it would just wipe your account fresh. So if you played 100 games, you're like, man, my KDR is only 0.9. I'm better than that. You could just wipe it and start fresh.
Why?
I mean, it was stupid, but kind of a genius move. I think a lot of people wasted a lot of money doing MMR resets for no reason. Yeah, I'm going to get to 1,700 with a 60% win rate. 58% win rate. Fuck it, I'll do it again. Because, like, your profile would show your top 5 most played heroes and their percentages. So the whole thing was, like, if you were a support player, you'd want your top 5 to be all support heroes and then have, like, a 1.5 KDA or something, and people would be like, oh, shit, this guy's a good support. He doesn't die. He's not a feeder.
Oh, I see.
So there was always this, like, aspiration to have, like, the perfect-looking profile so that when you get into a game, people would respect you and be like, hey, this guy's good. Listen to him. Or, like, yeah, let him go mid. He's got a 3.0 or whatever. You're only a 1.1.
Valve allows you to reset your MMR and all stats. $5.
Ruined.
All funds goes to the tier 2 Dota 2 scene. Guys,
dude, it ruined the community, though. Every game was just a dick-waving contest of who had better numbers on their profile. And it came down to that with every decision. Hey, guys, let's gank mid. Shut up, noob. You only have a 1.4. I'm 2.6. We're not ganking right now. That's what the Han games turned into. And, of course, there was a concede function, too. So, one guy dies twice in his lane. Fucking give up. It's over. I'm not leaving the well till you can see.
KD anymore.
Somebody brought that up in chat earlier. I am so hard out on that function. I think that's one of the best decisions Valve or IceFrog or whomever has ever made with Dota is to not put the GG function into pubs.
Yeah, it doesn't help. Like, frankly, it's like basically just as fast to just try and win.
Mm-hmm.
Just go make the Hail Mary play. If you lose, you're all dead, and they're just going to push and end the game.
Exactly. I think it's...
Every once in a while, there is a game. There is a game that goes on 40 minutes too long, and it is frustrating. I get it. But for the most part, I'm happy it's not there.
There's an opportunity cost there. You're right, and it is a small percentage of the time, but if you introduce that function to fix that 2% issue, what percentage of games are you going to have now where that becomes the excuse for someone who, your off lane goes 0-3 in the first 10 minutes, then wants to give up and concede? He now has this thing that he can latch onto of like, guys, stop wasting my time. The game's over. And it gets really toxic really quick, and that's like, it just makes it not fun. Now at 10 minutes, you can always say, like, dude, just shut up and get over it. It's only 10 minutes. Keep playing. The game's not over. So I think it's a net good for them.
I just had one of those games where we definitely lost, and Owen brought it back and won the game for us.
Pudge is a hell of a hero.
Oh no, it was OD Pixel PA actually.
Oh,
He's got a mean PA. It was impressive. I got to give him some credit on this one.
damn.
Now, mind you, he was also streaming a different game, and we had the easiest win in the history of Dota 2, and he managed to somehow make it an interesting game, and we almost lost. So, way to go, Owen. You know, you get both sides of the coin when you play with him.
You want to talk some ESL Hamburg, dude?
Sure, because my panelist friend March, of course, God, MVP,
Dude,
what a legend.
the legend
PNC victory.
indeed. Pretty awesome tournament. And look at this sponsor list. That's like where I'm just blown away at how far ESL has come. Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, DHL, Mountain Dew. I mean,
Yeah, man, they were
jeez.
doing the do.
They were doing the do. They even had a beer sponsor for this one. The instant replay was brought to you by a beer sponsor. I don't know if it's listed on here. But yeah, dude, I thought that shit was pretty cool. So spoilers here, of course, TNC did take first place, 125 grand. Gambit in second with 65K. Alliance, and then Beast Coast. For those of you unaware of the current lineups, TNC Predator, that's Gabby, Armel, KP, Tims, and March. Our second place squad, Gambit, currently Dream, GPK, Shotchlow, Vampire, and FNG. Alliance, Nico Baby, Limp, 33, Hanskin, and Fada. And that fourth place team is Beast Coast, the South American boys. Same lineup, K1, Chris Luck, Whisper, Schofield, and Stinger. I think we talked about that last podcast, but they are repping the Beast Coast flag now.
Yeah, nice top four. Getting the 20K is always good because like goes from like 20 down to 12. That's you know, I mean I guess third would have been better with the 35K to be fair, but
Well, for sure, but
you'll take it, get that fourth place. But man, I'm pretty happy that March got the MVP. You know, recognized for some excellent work with the team. Kind of fulfilling the Heen role in a totally not racist way because he's just another Korean. But in the sense that he's giving them direction in the game because that's March's strong suit, right? He is a very good mechanical player, but his game sense and his ability to like lead a team is his MVP stature.
yeah.
When it comes to
Decision
Dota
making.
2.
Yeah. It was really kind of an odd tournament, though. You had this weird mix of teams where it wasn't a lot of true tier 1 teams, and we got to see some of the other squads like the Fighting Pandas, the Canadian boys. They participated. They went from the Fighting Papagas to the Fighting Pandas. Oh, I didn't realize that was a name change there. Okay.
It was necessary for the
I guess Papaga is offensive in China.
I don't know what it is. It's let's just not is all it is.
Yeah.
It was pretty short tournament once you get to the actual arena. I mean, it was the typical ESL, right? Where it's got like the games during the week. It's I guess it actually wasn't that short for the teams. I like usually I don't know when you see like tier 2 lands they tend to be really short, but this one started on the 22nd. So I remember starting it started up in like the middle of the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was Tuesday was when the tournament actually started, and then it went all the way to Sunday. So it made the broadcast days a little bit easier. It felt like they didn't go super late until near the end. They were there. Did you hear about their little transfer they had to do?
No.
So they had the casters in Cologne, right? Is where they have the ESL offices.
Right. That's like their main headquarters, yeah.
Yeah, so all the players were in Hamburg already, where the actual LAN is doing their the group stage matches, but the casters were all in Cologne at the studio. Then when they finished up on the night, I think they finished at like 10 or 11, then they got on a bus. It was a coach that had beds, though, and then they drove to Hamburg on the bus. I think they drove from midnight to 4 a.m. or something.
What the
and then got to the hotel, had to get in the rooms, slept for another 2 or 3 hours, and then had to get up and cast the next day. And then the next day went to 1 a.m.
What? That's, I mean, kind of badass that you're on a bus with like sleeper beds. I did see somebody tweet or Instagram a picture of that, but that is some brutal shit, dude.
That's pretty brutal, yeah. No off day, despite starting the 22nd. That was the thing that caught me completely off guard. But it's because they just started the stuff the next day. They just no off day because they played on the actual 24th.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow, that's hard crew. I hope that crew got a travel day for that or something. Like, geez, that's to
Pretty
me
rough.
that goes above and beyond the standard day rate. That's a day and a half for right there, if you're asking me. Not that
That's
anybody was, but whew. What happened to Liquid? Of course, Liquid is the ex-Alliance squad. Mickey, Koikva, Boxy, Taiga, Insania, Coach Blitz.
yeah.
They bombed out. They were dead last next to Viking GG, the Bone 7 squad.
Yeah, their group stage wasn't too spectacular either. They did well versus NIP, which is kind of funny because that was like you would think one of the harder people in their group. But they basically Wind and Rain overperformed. They went 1-1 or 2-0'd everyone in their group, which was a big surprise. Because no one really expected much out of those guys. It's basically just they're good players and you recognize them all, but it's not really a team,
Yeah.
that you would expect for this. So
Yeah.
impressive from them because they were there just to replace IG. So everyone kind of thought they were just going to be a bit of a walkover team, and they end up taking a lot of points in the group. So that made every win really matter.
Right.
And then if you get 2-0 by TNC, which is kind of expected, and then Gambit performed well during the group stage. So they managed to. I mean, they performed well through the whole tournament, I guess, obviously because they came second. But I didn't know where to place Gambit, but a lot of the teams after scrimming when they got there said they felt like the best team there, right alongside like G and TNC.
Interesting.
But yeah, in terms of like what happened in their games, like it kind of looked like classic Alliance. As watching them last year, there were some like late game struggles. Blitz had to cast them a couple times or at least panel them, so it was kind of funny having to listen to him and watch them struggle. He couldn't really coach them obviously because he was casting the event.
Yeah.
But it looked like they just maybe didn't have a firm grasp on what sort of strategies they wanted to run, or at least ones that would be successful here.
So why was Blitz casting this one and not you? I thought you and Cap were the hot new thing, bro. What happened?
ESL, this was already decided before he had gotten the.
I see.
I think this is when all their I believe a lot of the ESL tournaments are agreed like a year in advance. So people like Nahaz and Blitz,
Really?
and Cap and Purge, I think they would have known. They do so many in a year, I think is kind of how they work for those events. So I think they all kind of knew they were doing this event, if I'm not mistaken. At least Blitz did. Blitz knew a long ways away that he was going to be doing this event. So
I've never heard that, really. Everyone I represent has always been event by event with ESL. I've never had anyone be like, hey.
Well, that's why you don't go to ESLs.
Well, I don't, but other people do. I mean, Slacks goes to ESL all the time. I know he's not locked in for like, hey, we want to sign you for 3 ESLs. I don't think
some of the
that
casters
happens.
have done that. The actual like casters have multi-event arrangements with ESL.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I flicked on that stream and was just like, what the fuck? Trent cheated on me so the Cap could cheat on him with the guy that he was already with? The fuck's going on over here? I got a little testy. I won't lie.
Yeah, no, this was already agreed upon, so
I see.
We're cool. No worries. No, Blitz and I have actually talked a lot about the situation, so it's
having
it's
a threesome with Cap?
Yeah, it's kind of ideal for me because Blitz still wants to cast a little bit, and I mean, I guess I don't know. Have I said it on this podcast before? I mean, it's not a secret anymore. It's kind of an open secret, but I'm having another baby in February. So if you didn't know, surprise. And that means that I'm not going to be that available for a couple months. So Blitz will still be coming back to cast a little bit with Cap, and that's kind of why it's good that he has like a little bit of wiggle room there. So it's perfect.
Oh man, I'm thinking about that timeline, and there's only one event on this DPC circuit that it hasn't been announced yet, but I'm pretty sure I will get to work it, and that will be my one opportunity to cast with you this season for DPC, and you will be out of commission. The
rumored North American major? Yes, I will not be available for the rumored North American major.
No, I'm thinking of something in Europe, but
well, there you go.
How long are you out for? When are you going to be? Let's say you have the baby February 1st.
The last possible event I can do based off of the calendar would be the PGL 1 in Singapore.
No, I mean after that. When can you start again? Like April, May, June? Like when's your start date after baby happens?
That's what depends. Like Clifford came 3 weeks early, so like theoretically, if this baby came 3 weeks early, then it would be somewhere around my birthday, I believe, January 15th. And then my current scheduled time to start up again will be the end of my wife's school semester because she's gonna try and finish her semester of her education degree.
So what is that, like June?
No, May.
May?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like halfway through May or something.
Well, fuck. The event I'm thinking of, I think, is in April. So thanks, bud.
Yeah, no problem. I got you.
Will you name
Thank
your
you,
child Kunka?
It's a good name, but no.
Good, strong. That's a
Very
nice maritime
strong.
name.
We were gonna go with 7, I think.
7. I think in some places numbers are illegal. You're not allowed to name your kids like 1, 2, 3. I think at least in America that's considered abusive. But if you just have one of them with a number and you pick a number that doesn't start at 1, I don't know if that
Any
counts
of
as
them in?
abusive. Huh?
Oh, I see what you mean. Like literally naming them like the order they come out.
Yeah, like you can't just name your kids like, "Hey, 1. Yeah, there's 2." Like that fucks up. That
That is
creates
kind of
problems.
abusive. Yeah, I got you.
You know, you need to give people an identity and
Just number your children.
that's pretty fucked.
That is definitely fucked up.
I had something else I was going to say about the cap thing, and now I forgot what it was. But
I mean, that was the thing that when he asked me about it, I said like, yeah, I'm interested, but just so you know, here's the situation. And so he took a week to think about it. He was like, shit, do I want Trent away 3 months or someone else? And I still got the gig, so you know, your boy's doing all right, guys. Don't worry.
I mean, it is a weird conundrum though, because like when you're talking about like a casting pair, a lot of times it really is based on momentum, right? When we had that run before the TI in Vancouver, that was why I was so confident that I might get included, because we did all those DPC events leading up to it. And it kind of sucks if you do one event or 2 events with him and you guys nail it, and then there's like 2 majors and a minor that pass where you're just not there, and then you come back for like the last little push before TI, like, hey guys, Trent here, I'd love to like, it's just I would have to think about it a little bit if I were him, because he has an opportunity cost. It's all
right. Blitz will just sandbag it for me. He'll just be really shitty when he comes back, and then so that way he'll be like, oh my god, I miss Trent and Cap, and then everybody wins. So that's what we'll go with.
So what does Blitz not want to cast anymore? Or I don't. What's the nature of the?
He just wants to coach. He still wants to cast a little bit, but casting is not his his goal.
I see.
That would not be his perfect job. If he could pick a job in the pro scene, it's not casting. He would rather coach. No, he has that opportunity to coach Gannon, so that's what he's doing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That makes sense. Well, shit, man. Now what am I going to do? I need something to do in January, dude. I need a new hobby. I need a new project.
What should Zyori do at events, guys? What do you guys want from him?
What should I do? I'm a Lost
why
Boy
don't we
gang.
just throw this out there? You guys want to send in, if you're listening to the podcast later time, just tweet at Zyori on Twitter and tell him all your great ideas for things you want at tournaments.
I feel like this is that episode of The Office where Michael wants to get set up with somebody and they all have to come up with a name and a phone number and submit it.
Yeah.
Guys?
Start drinking heavily. That's a good one. That would be entertaining.
I
Down
mean,
to Zyori on the floor.
So it really is a weird time for a couple of reasons. And it's odd that it's all like coalesced around me turning 30, because I just turned 30 2 weeks ago. So like this is that first like quarter life crisis kind of, okay, 20s were for adventures.
Quarter life? How old are you living, Doc?
100? Yeah, there you go.
You're going to 120?
No. Well, okay. Yeah, third life crisis. Not so good at math. What are you going to do? But it's weird. Like for a long time in esports, right? I could see these opportunities of like, okay, if I can find the right people and we can find the right sponsors, we can get the teams and we can do these tournaments, right? There's always been this dream to reach for, and this like, hey, I think we can get the resources to do it. And I think we've gotten to kind of the limit that you can get without making that jump to being like a, quote, real company and not just a collective of contractors that all kind of work together. I think Midas Mode 2 was a perfect example of that, where we did a lot of really cool shit. We really stepped up our game. We innovated. We pushed the envelope. But there were a lot of things that went wrong, and the workflow internally was rough. And we really saw that need for like proper support staff. We needed an account manager. We needed another project manager. We needed an audience, like a stage man. You know, we needed all these different people to fill in these roles. And it's hard to do that until you have all these salaried positions. And this is a spot where BTS is able to really jump into that next level because they have all this infrastructure. And now it's just more gigs means their engine just churns out more stuff. And we haven't quite gotten to that point. And our niche has always been running innovative Dota 2 tournaments. And I think that is getting harder and harder to do. Like, I was watching ESL Hamburg. Dude, the production value on that event is so fucking sick. The bar is so high from the little things of just how things transition around the screen and look really fluid and the colors and very minimalist to how specifically they've crafted the sponsor callouts. You notice there aren't many static logos sitting on the screen. On the weight screen, there's no logo rotator. They have tactful ad placement that resonates so much more than this just like rotating wheel of sponsor logos. So every aspect of running Dota tournaments has moved up multiple levels now, and we can't get away with the same stupid shenanigans we used to. Like when we started Moonduck, content was king. It was all about content, and the bells and whistles and rickety racket, it didn't seem worth the money. Now it's kind of like, there's a palpable difference between Midas Mode and ESL Hamburg. Like, yeah, the content is funny, it's Moonducky, whatever, but it's like leagues of difference in production value.
It's also, the other hard thing about our kind of tournaments is like, I mean, getting teams from Midas Mode was the perfect example. Even without the qualifiers, it's still so much harder than it used to be. Like, holy shit.
Yes.
I mean, like if I wanted to organize, like let's say you want to take this time and do elimination mode, because frankly, I think elimination mode is the best mode that we've ever come up with. Yeah. Shout out to Suns fan. I think it's basically better than random draft, but it doesn't work in pubs because it needs a multi-series game plan.
Yes.
I think it's so entertaining to watch, and I think it would sell so easily. But how do you get teams to play it? Money's not enough. They don't care about money.
Exactly. And that's
you
the
need
thing.
tier 1 teams for viewers.
So the conundrum for Moonduck and my general esports efforts always used to be, how do we get the money? I know we've got an audience. I know we've got the ideas. And if we say, hey, here's a $100,000 tournament, the teams will show up. The teams are not a problem. It's who's going to finance this fucking thing. And that gave me a light at the end of the tunnel. It's like, okay, we need to work on our sales pipeline. I need to work on this process. I need to go fucking network. I need to go meet some people. And now we've done that. We've sold some big sponsors. You know, I talked about it in the last podcast about Betway and Midas Mode and all this kind of stuff. And now we've got the money. It's like, well, it's not enough anymore. We've got all these millionaire players that don't give a shit about playing for 150 grand or 100 grand or whatever it is. Even like ESL Hamburg was a 300K tournament, and they still didn't have a lot of the tier 1 teams.
They just said no. They were just like, eh.
So, I just don't know. I don't know how I can confidently go to sponsors and say, hey, guys, give me $100,000. We're going to do a blockbuster Dota 2 tournament. I don't know that I can do that anymore. I feel like the next level is doing like $1 million league or something. Like somebody needs to do a TI outside of TI to really make that next jump. And dare I say, that might be a little bit out of the scope of what we're equipped to do with Moonduck resources. I don't know how to sell $1 million prize pool and then budget on top of that. So I don't know.
Paul Mixer, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
So I don't know. I don't really know what I'm doing. And then for a while, right, I was writing the book. The book's done, so I don't even have like a project to, cry into
you're a writer
and
now.
think
you can write the animated series.
Say again?
That you're a writer now. Now you just do the animated series. There. Perfect.
All right, I'm getting Netflix on the horn.
Send Bruno a message right now. Yo, Bruno, you probably saw it, but I'm a writer now. I thought there might be an opening at Valve. Could I get a desk next to Casey? Will you please just send this to Bruno right now?
Oh my god, I should start doing that. I mean, that's like a thing that people recommend is you just like send free books to people and like they're not gonna read them, but it's just getting it in their hands. And I just feel like such a douchebag doing that, like unsolicited. Like, hey Bruno, here's a copy of my book. Happy holidays from Zyori. Like, fuck you, get out of here. That old school shit doesn't work anymore.
I went to Gabe. Just email him the Slacks audiobook.
Yeah, there you go. That should work. Speaking of audiobooks, dude, what a pain in the ass. I thought recording the audiobook would be fun.
Why would you think that would be fun?
I don't know. Well, so I realized I like reading when I can editorialize. I like reading textbooks when I can add in extra words and alter it. and make it more fluid the way I would say it. But when I have to read it word for word verbatim,
bruh, it's your book. All right.
Yeah, but
first off, you can't really make that argument here.
Well, but you still like. I think like you want it to be like the actual words of the book. So it's a different form of reading. Like I realize that I don't read stuff literally. I like kind of interpret it and then paraphrase naturally. So reading it like literally word by word, it's just draining as fuck. And every time I stumble, I like get mad and have to pause and erase it and then record it over, like it's really, I'm 15% of the way done and it's way harder than I thought it was going to be. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, it does not sound like a fun time. Do you really think you'll get Slacks to do it? I don't think Slacks is going to do it.
Well, so I think
he said he would.
He said he would, and it's a weird one because I asked him like 4 times, and before I announced it at Midas Mode, I triple checked with him. All right, are you positive you want to do this? Because we're going to announce it, and people are going to be really excited for it. And that was when he did the as long as you're okay with me being honest thing. I said, all right. So I've been getting tweets every other day asking about this Slacks audiobook. So now he's made himself publicly accountable. And he did get back from Hamburg and messaged me about setting up a time to do it. The problem is, I think he is underestimating how much time it will take.
I think there should be no editing. He should just go.
Yes.
I don't think you edit his at all.
Exact. So I think that's the difference. Mine, I'm trying to do like an actual audiobook where it's quote unquote perfect. It's like good reading and it's like not me stumbling around. His is just going to be him reading. It's basically going to be a stream. And
yeah, that's perfect.
So what are your thoughts here? I think I talked about this when I was just streaming personally. Selling the audiobook obviously is a way to make some money, and I think some people will buy it. Does it make more sense to just have Slacks do a marathon stream and just do it all live and release it for free and call that just a big marketing thing and tell people like, hey, if you like this, enjoy it, just pick up the ebook and you can still like just encourage people to buy it if they want to, or if they enjoyed the audiobook for free, you can always go back and buy it. But
I think I don't know.
I can't decide because part of me feels like there is a huge amount of people that would enjoy it that would never buy it, and I still want them to hear some of the content. But at the same time, I'm still negative on the book. With all the sales, when I had to pay my editors and artists, I'm still in the red. So it would be nice to actually make a little money off the audiobook and at least not be negative on publishing a book. That would feel good.
There's a lot of people that would buy it just for Slacks, but there's also a ton more that would just listen to it for Slacks.
And I do think some of those people, like I'm confident enough in the material that there are people that probably think the book is stupid, would hear Slacks read it and go, wow, this is way better than I thought, and then go back and buy it because they appreciate it retroactively. Maybe that's my own overconfidence and bias, but I do believe, I think memoir is like a shitty sell. I think a lot of people
I kind of like that idea.
Who gives a shit about Zyori's memoir? But I think if you actually heard the Sniff chapter, most people that would laugh at the idea of me writing a memoir would actually be like, holy shit, this is intense. Like that was it's some pretty intense shit in that section.
Yeah.
So I'm torn. I don't know. And I feel like if I let Slack stream it, that might entice him to actually do it on a more timely thing, because then he can just monetize it along the way with subs and ads and shit instead of me having to, fucking post it on Audible and deal with all that shit. Like him streaming it is just way easier. It makes the whole thing logistically simplified. But what do you think?
Like
what's the play here? What's the min max?
I think maybe hard. I think the Slacks thing will get you more money in the long run anyway, and it's the better goodwill thing. Maybe not goodwill is the right word, but like exposure.
It's like the optics. It's like a good look.
Yeah, overall, I think the Slack stream is the way to go. It's going to make the whole recording thing easier. It's going to be funny. I think that's how you do it.
Yeah, and I also like I don't like the idea of paywalling it. I feel like it's already there. People can buy it if they want to or not. What's the point of paywalling the audio part? Like most of me just wants people to hear the story and appreciate the fucking struggle more than I want to make $300 on audiobooks.
Yeah, exactly. So I would go with that.
All right. I guess I talked myself into it. Well, that was great. Well, thanks, bud. You're a great little springboard.
Oh, you know how I am. I aim to please.
So Dota in the near future. Major, minor, or other way around? Minor, major?
Yeah, I'm doing both. It's going to be fun.
And
wait,
both?
is the other one announced?
Oh,
right, well,
I was going to say, maybe I dropped this. I think they are...
I don't think the talent's out, but sorry.
Is the broadcast location of the major announced?
I don't know.
Do you understand my question? Because the
Yes,
major
I
is in
do understand your
Chengdu.
question. I do.
MDL has a reputation for not bringing casters on site.
Yes.
So I am assuming there will be some sort of off-site coverage. I have not been invited for this minor or major, so I don't really know anything. Except, I think I know who's
that I'm going to both,
broadcasting it.
apparently. So that now you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's part of the hype. They like to hide the talent, but I'll tell you guys that I'll be casting both of them. So very excited for that because I gotta get as many events in as I can before baby. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I'm very excited. I say this every podcast. I feel like I love going to LA. I love going to the BTS offices.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
It's so much fun. I just play Melee, play Ultimate, watch Dota, cast Dota, hang out with everyone.
I just want to come hang out, dude. Can I just get an Airbnb, pay for it myself, and just hang out in the studio and be like a mascot, be the cheerleader?
You should come. There's an audience.
Is there really?
Yes, for the minor, dude. There's a fucking audience. You should come. You should bring your
Holy
book.
shit.
Oh, Zyori's coming to the minor.
Holy shit, I forgot about that. I did see that in the announcement. There's going to be a little studio audience. I mean, listen, their office is so big, and I know there's so much room. Like, I could just legit set up my computer and just work out of their office for a week and just hang out at the minor.
I'm sure they would be fine with that, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Better send some messages. Well, unless they read the book.
I was going to say, I still haven't talked to LD or Gods about the book, so this is pretty all in. I'm operating under the assumption that no news is good news and that they either don't care enough and they haven't read it and don't give a shit, or they read it and weren't triggered enough to say anything negative about it. But I don't know. I really don't know. I have not seen or talked to LD. I did send a copy to Rob, and he told me he would read it and give me honest feedback. He told me that he would let me know if he thought it's stuff LD would be mad about. So I'm waiting for the honest Rob feedback.
That real Mags in the chat. Son,
Real Mags.
Then you can have his ticket.
Wow, thanks. I hope I could get a comped ticket. I mean, I feel like my career hasn't fallen that far that I'd have to buy a general admission ticket to the Summit Minor. That would.
You can be my VIP. You can be my significant other. Sarah can't come, so you can have my +1.
Hey, I'm Trent's +1, guys. So how does the team list look, though? Let's see. Minor, what do we got?
I think we got Quincy crew, right? Aren't they the minor?
Yes, they are. So let's hop into the display cap here. So we got this team, the Gibberish Squad, Palantimos, Pikachu, Big Num, Hellraisers. They've got Aloha Dance, Maposhka, Nyx DM. We got the NIP Squad, Ad Finem. What in the world?
Hell yeah, dude.
The Greek Squad is back. Invictus Gaming, Geek Fam from Southeast Asia, the Quincy Crew, that's your CCNC, Saber Light, MSS, SVG, and then Pain, the Brazilian Squad, it's HFN, and all those guys. Interesting minor cast.
Pretty good. PPD looking to win another minor.
Yeah, seriously.
I think they're probably the best looking team there. Maybe IG, depending on how. I haven't seen a lot of their games, but I could see that team's pretty stacked.
I'm excited to see Geek Fam. This is kind of a cool roster. Raven, Ryoya, Cuckoo, Zephyr, and Dubu.
Goes all the way to C to play some Dota. First to land back in NA.
Yeah, right?
Ryoya's coming home.
Huh. I don't know. This is one of those like classic C squads where I look at the lineup and go, yeah, they could do some shit. Or they could flop and look completely awful. I don't know. But I'm still excited to see it. I like all those players.
I'm curious how Summit it will be.
That's an interesting thought, given that it's a DPC event.
Yeah, because it's just called Summit, so I don't really view it as a Summit. But then, they're marketing it as a Summit, and then Dakota even tweeted something about how it's going to be like my first time at the Summit and Cap's first time at the Summit, and I'm just like, oh, so this is a real Summit. Like, that's how they're treating it. So that makes me think they're probably going to be having like player casts and stuff.
There's going to be some differences though, because remember the last Summit. I remember the article that Renessa wrote. I remember seeing some of the clips.
Hey, Grant's still there.
Grant's there. Did they invite Mason back?
No, Mason didn't make the list.
Surprise! Wow. Yeah, I don't know. The last one got a little intense. I don't know. It got a little
Little out of
broy.
hand?
Little broy.
Wait. Oh, I see. We got some GSL groups going on. Hype.
Yeah.
So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only. Wait. Do only 4 teams make it out of the groups? Oh shit. Oh hell yeah. 4 teams out of groups. Let's go. This is like the Star Ladder minor setup.
Black is casting. Interesting.
Yeah. It should be
Very
good.
Interesting.
How many play-by-play casters are there? Grant,
not many.
Cap. Oh, I guess LD and Dakota.
LD, Dakota, Gods.
Grant, Cap.
Kind of Grant, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're good.
You got enough. It's a pretty good talent list.
Oh yeah, it's stacked for a minor. It's gonna be fun. I guess all the minors are pretty stacked. It's not like the minors didn't really. I guess I would say it's stacked for a minor because it feels like there's a lot of people for what the event is.
It feels like we have a lot of talent right now. It's kind of a weird. This is like the first time I've really felt like the amount of tier 1 events we have versus the talent pool that is generally pretty good and savvy at covering Dota events. Like there's just not enough. There's really nobody who's working every event. You know, even like the true tier 1 people, you know, like Toby and Owen, like they're not working every single DPC tournament.
Yeah.
It's kind of a wild time for Dota casters.
Have they given any update on how they are doing at WoW Classic? How's your WoW Classic going there, bud?
Oh, it's going pretty well. I got my first piece of prophecy yesterday. The guild's doing really well. I hit level 60. We killed Ragnaros. So I hit level 60 last week. I was streaming this, Trent. I did a WoW stream. I did 60,
see you tweet about it.
And this was like 20 minutes before the raid was supposed to start. So I was like quickly training my spells. I'm running to the instance. And that was also the first week that we killed Ragnaros. Our first Ragnaros kill, last boss of Molten Core. So that was pretty fun. Yep, trying to get my benediction. And, I got a Flask of the Titans recipe. That was a pretty lucky roll. Got that from Drac and UBRS. I'm a 300 alchemist, so that's pretty cool. Gonna be rich when Blackwing Lair comes out, huh? Stockpiling my Grom's blood.
Yeah, you're getting ready, I
badass.
see.
Huh?
You're getting all ready. I don't know much about WoW, really, so I see what you're saying. So did you pre-plan for this next expansion to know that that's gonna be a thing that makes you rich?
A little bit. So you can think about like you can definitely strategize, and like consumables are really important for raiding when progression is happening. So now we're getting to the point where like even shitty guilds can full clear Molten Core. It's not that hard. It's a pretty easy raid overall, and you don't really need that much gear to do it. So now you don't need to buy all these expensive potions and shit. But when new content comes out and you can't just like full clear it on the first week, then people will buy all the raid consumables. So I'm going to be selling my potions. I'm excited for the PvP to come out. Right now, you can kill other players, but you don't get anything for it. So I think next phase is where they introduce the honor system. Then after that, Battlegrounds will start to come out, and that's what I'm really looking forward to.
Wait, they don't even have Battlegrounds yet?
Battlegrounds are not out yet in WoW Classic, no. That's a future phase thing. So there's world PvP only, but
That was smart.
There's no honor, there's no nothing. When you kill somebody, it's just to fuck up their game and make them run back from the graveyard. You get nothing but the satisfaction, which is kind of
I mean, that's really the most valuable part of it anyway. Let's be honest here.
It's true. But no, it's been fun. I'm still kind of stunned at how good of a game WoW Classic is and how much fun Carlo and I have been having playing it. Mott quit. He did not make it to 60. He gave up.
Why? Wasn't he all hyped?
He was. He got to like level 35 on a warrior and then got mad that didn't like the warrior and then re-rolled a mage and then didn't want to have to regrind through all the shit that he already did. So I don't know. Carlo's about to hit 60. Fun game. I did it in about 10 days played, which I was pretty proud of. I think when I did my first 60 run on vanilla, it took me 14 or 15 days played. So 10's pretty good.
10 days played. Wow. I wonder how many Fog's at now.
Oh.
After like 40 days, he was at like 29 days played or something.
I mean, that is just bananas. I mean, that's like I need a little more balance than that. You know, WoW's fun, but I still have some other shit I got to do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, last one little announcement I wanted to close out with, dude. Did you see this new company? We have a new player.
Yes.
In the foray, esportsengine.gg.
Do you think they will have a lot to do with us though?
Not really, but maybe. So for those of you that don't know anything about this, this is Adam Apicella. He's the CEO of this. I believe he used to be the COO of MLG. Was that his title for a long time? He was at ML. He was like one of the foundational people at MLG. So this is a crew of guys that were really heavily involved with the founding of MLG. It's like Sundance Di Giovanni, Mike Cespo, Adam App. There's a couple others that I'm spacing on off the top of my head, but it's a whole crew of them. And I mean, dude, MLG had a pretty wild up and down roller coaster trajectory over the last 15 years. They had a couple lows, but boy, did they have some highs, and they completely conquered the North American competitive circuit for a long time. And they had a cool exit strategy. Like they sold MLG to Activision Blizzard because of their Call of Duty leagues and stuff. So it's guys that have been around in esports for a long time. They've done a lot of really good shit, and they're starting a new company. It's like a turnkey event operations thing. So I think it's like, hey, we're doing a minor. We need somebody to help us run the event. Okay, we're your guys. We know how to do it and do it good for a fair
Or you're
price.
a sponsor who wants to get into esports, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So excited to see what they produce. I think they've got some pretty significant backing. They're under, is it the Vindex umbrella? I read this article and then I didn't digest any of the actual words. Yeah, V-Index, I guess is how you say it. So they've got some pretty serious backing. Going to be based out of Columbus, Ohio. Still maintaining their presence there as a big esports city. I'm fucking stoked. And I bring it up for Dota because even though MLG hasn't done a huge amount of Dota, they are open-minded, and they're
also interested. I always see him tweeting that he wants to do stuff in Dota.
Yep.
He's trying to get back into Dota. He's, and like it's not even like people tweeting at him. It's him saying actively, "I want to do Dota."
Yeah.
So.
No, I mean it's an appealing place because I think a lot of the other devs are much more hands-on. So for these orgs that do a lot of different games, there is some serious attraction to Valve's like, yeah, do whatever you want, dude. We don't give a shit. Tournament license. Pfft. If you got the money, you can do what you want.
I was so confused by that when I was talking to like BTS about some of their events and stuff. And I was like, man, when are you guys gonna do another Dragon Ball Z summit? They're like, oh, the Dragon Ball Z guys won't get back to us. Like, well, what do you mean? Like the gaming company?
Yeah.
What the fuck do you need them for? He's like, well, you got to get a license. Like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He's like, well, we could theoretically run a tournament, but they don't really like it.
Yeah. Most
like,
games you
what?
need that express permission to use the IP. So who knows? Keep an eye out. If you see that name pop up in Dota, though, it's a legit crew. And I'm stoked. And I still like MLG is near and dear to my heart, partially because that was where my esports stuff started in 2011, 2012, going to all those StarCraft tournaments. But MLG Columbus 2013, one of the most defining moments in Dota 2 history outside of the international. That was the first third-party crowd-funded tournament. That was Arteezy's breakout event. That was the whole speed gaming, Marco Fernandez bullshit. That was one of the first like huge kind of VIP level events where a lot of talent like met each other for the first time in that big lounge that they had. That event was super defining, and I think if that event hadn't gone so well, the trajectory of Dota would have looked a little bit different. So we maybe we don't owe MLG one, but we definitely owe them a little bit of gratitude for fucking sniping that event. Dude, you know Velat solo casted that entire tournament? He was the single Russian commentator there, and he casted every single game by himself. What a fucking god. All right.
Well, there's also, of course, the next big thing will be the patch. You guys probably saw Cameron from Valve has been making some statements on Twitter. Thanks, Cameron, saying that, I mean, I'm glad he was so nice about it, but holy shit, guys. They've done the first big update after the first major every year for like 3 years. So I don't know what y'all were thinking, but shockingly, it's coming after the first major. Do you guys think they're just going to like drop this giant ass patch after all the teams play qualifiers on the minor? I mean, goddamn, that's what they always do.
Yeah.
So here it comes.
Yeah. There's
it's
a plan.
Be after the major.
There are things in motion.
Like, I remember before Kuala Lumpur, everyone's freaking out. Patch comes after the major.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I remember that as well. Guys. I remember reading patch notes in the airport after KL with Slacks and Grant. You're right. They do follow that formula.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that for sure, of course. And I know we all wanted it, obviously, as soon as possible. I want to play Snapfire so bad. Little Granny Lizard. Let's go.
I'm excited. New heroes are always fun, dude. It's just a fun time to play pubs. Seeing people do big plays and then seeing people try them for the first time. It's fun, dude. I love those chaos.
Look out for
periods.
the Snapfire mids.
Those
The first thing
Snapfire
everyone
mids.
does with a support hero, assuming she is a support hero, is they try her mid to see if she's broken. Because if she can clear waves, she probably is.
Now it'll be fun. A lot of good content coming. All right, man. That's everything I've got for this one. You got anything else?
I think that's pretty good. I mean, in the world of Dota in the past week, I mean, we're all just excited for the major. It's coming soon. Everything's pretty quiet. Do I have any tips for you guys for your pubs? Let's see. What has been working for me? Not playing with Owen. That's a good tip. No, actually, Owen's been doing all right. He's helped me out as of late. What are the broken heroes right now, guys? Who should we set? Keeper the Light's still pretty busted. I think Slardar is really good. Plus, he's that really cool Dota Plus set, so I would recommend playing some Slardar against all these safe laners. Of course, Void. Yes, just play Void. Void is definitely the easiest way to win. I keep seeing people complain about Morph Earthshaker, but I haven't really seen it that much in pubs.
No.
Definitely the pro games, and obviously it's still pretty good. But CK, yes, CK is a great hero to pick right now. A big plus on that guy. Marana too. And you can always just check out the old dotabuff.com/heroes page. If you see the little green star, it means they're winning a lot. Oh, look at that. CK's win rate has gone up 3.80%. might be time to pick them. So, yeah.
Well, there you go. I was looking at the esports subreddit, but did you see that little clip from Mark Cuban where he talked about how owning an esports team in the USA is a, quote, awful business?
Yeah.
You see, that was really good. I actually thought it was a really good statement. Mark Cuban is kind of on it. He's like, all these really rich people bought into this shit and didn't really know what they are buying. And now it's sort of just floating along, and I don't know where this money's coming from. This is ridiculous. Good on you.
I mean, I'm always down. We can stay for another hour if you want to talk about Overwatch League, but I think I'm good.
I'm good for now. I'm waiting for something to happen. I mean,
I still don't understand how everyone threw money to that bullshit.
Dude,
but...
we're going to get a lot of cannon fodder soon because they are starting the local shit before too long, right? Isn't that coming up pretty soon? Like the the localized events and shit. And speaking of localized, I'm doing my first little book signing panel Q&A session. I don't know if you saw that little announcement the other day, bud. But November 8th, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, Rowan University, my alma mater. I'm going back, and they're giving me an auditorium to do a little hour Q&A panel.
Wow. How's that going to go?
It's going to go great. We're going to talk about esports and careers and cyberbullying and whatever else the kiddies want to talk about. I think it's going to be more kind of general career stuff than specifically like esports shit. But still pretty cool. I'm stoked to be going back and talking to the minds of tomorrow, Trent.
I love the minds of tomorrow.
Me too.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
Yeah, gang. Thanks a lot. Of course, you'll find this on the Moonduck YouTube, youtube.com/moonducktv, and audio only at Zyori.tv. Check out my book. You can still buy it. Check out Trent's Twitter. You can still follow him. And things are happening in Dota 2. We'll see y'all on the next one of these podcasts.